Hey guys, Uncommon Sense coming back at you. Bit of a break in between, just coming back to this NASA document that we started on a little while ago. So let's just get right back into it. I think this is where we left off last time. So I think we got down to the end of page 27. So let's keep going. I think it's important that people if you want to have an idea of what's going on, you need to have some ability to see through the facade that's being presented to you. And I think the best way to do that is by understanding what you're up against in terms of who it is that's trying to fool you and why, and what they're trying to accomplish. And if you can have a couple of those things in mind, that makes it very, well, I shouldn't say very, it makes it a much smaller task to figure out when something that you're being told or presented with is not as it is, and also being able to detect, what, if you know what their agenda is, you can sort of figure out ways like, okay, if I was trying to get from A to Z, which are the steps that I would take, and then you can, counterbalance that against what you're seeing and think, okay, they're doing this. What is that trying to achieve? Like, obviously, they're not going to disclose their end agenda, although they do, but in ways that aren't necessarily obvious. Like a lot of people say, truth in movies, lies on TV, and I think that's very true. They seem to follow throw the shit at the wall and see what sticks. And stuff that gets traction, well, that's the mode they pursue. And if they're trying to conceal something, the stuff that doesn't get the attention is what they pursue. So let's get back into this, and I'll comment as I see fit as we're going through. So they're saying possible, where are we? Circa 2025 societal changes. Increased lifespan. Solution to energy, water, and warming. Far more global distribution of technology, education, economics, and wealth. Well, we don't have education, really. We have an indoctrination program that masquerades as education. The only way you're going to get educated is if you educate yourself, and I'm sorry, but it's as simple as that. You go to university, you're forced to conform. You give the answers that your superiors want, or you don't pass the course, you don't get your degree. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. And the peer review system is set up in such a way that if you don't fit within the paradigm, or you have solutions that are superior or don't conform with the paradigm, the peer review system is used to lock you out. We see this with people. All you got to do is have a look at everyone that's come up with an alternative power system, such as anyone that's come up with a car that runs on hydrogen, or they were previously referred to as water-powered cars. Obviously, the water is derived, the hydrogen is derived through electrolysis from the water. And all you need to do is have a look at what has happened to those people. And now we're at a time, graphene has been discussed more and more over the last decade. They've now got very efficient methods of producing it. I was actually driving behind a truck the other day that had like 1, 2, 3 pallets of, I'd say they would be bigger than the largest paint bucket size containers of graphene on the back of this like courier van. And he must have had 6, 12, 18 cartons that would have been, say, 60-litre size cartons of graphene going into an industrial estate. So what they're doing with it, I don't know. What I do know is that graphene is a superconductor at room temperature, and that is the holy grail that they've been looking for who knows how long. Basically, what they can do with this is magnetize, get a magnetic effect from organic material. You guys might have seen some spoons sticking to stuff recently, and spoons are generally made of either silver or stainless steel. Stainless steel, of course, not magnetic, unless you've had a certain procedure. So anyway, let's continue. Tremendous increase in capacity of automatic and robotic everything, resulting in reduced tensions associated with haves and have-nots and historical religious issues. I guess what they're saying is that like communism would work if it wasn't for greed, but we have greed, so communism is not going to work. We do have the technological ability to have a situation where we don't have to go to work, wake up, go to sleep, go to work, wake up, go to sleep, go to work. That's not necessary. We have the technology to take care of those, basic necessities that had previously been intensely labor intensive. So could be done, but it won't because, people. Also resulting in greatly increased individual destructive power and general societal disaffection. WRT machines. Here we go. Major emerging law enforcement issues. Privacy, ubiquitous micro nano sensors. And we're seeing this at the moment. I don't know how many of you have seen the auditing community, First Amendment auditing. It is in the US. Here in Australia, we have cop watchers, and they don't like being filmed. Now, where is their standard line of, well, if you don't have anything to hide, why don't you just let us come into your house? Well, if you're not doing anything wrong, why do you have a problem with being filmed while you do your job? IT net crime, wide spectrum. See, this is all fitting into what's happening now. So, IT net crime, wide spectrum. This Project 201, or what is it called? No, Event 201. What was the next thing in there? The internet crimes getting crazy. So, what are we going to do about that? Protection of human electronic implants. Protection of the continental United States beyond terrorism. Societal disaffection upheaval caused by rapid technological change, road and air rage, psychosomatic illnesses, and withdrawal. Well, there does seem to be withdrawal syndrome associated with basically what is digital dopamine. That particularly the kids, you see them on their little iPads playing their little Roblox or their Minecraft or whatever they play on there. Try getting an iPad off a kid, and you'll see that there is definitely a withdrawal symptom associated with it. And the tech oligarchies has said themselves, it's just a race to the brainstem. Whoever gets down to that brainstem first basically controls the children and the children of the future. So they're investing in their future by creating zombies out of the kids. Of particular concern, uncontrollable self-replication of brilliant robots, nano-replicators, and rampant recombinant bio variants. The current competitive landscape, US produces only 18% of the world's GDP. Approximately 70% of research is conducted offshore. 400 billion a year trade deficit. And let's not forget, this is going back, this document I think was produced in 2001. Don't quote me on that. 32 other nations devote a larger percentage of their GDP to research. This is all referring to the US, of course. Fifth in the number of R&D personnel and labor units. 3% savings rate versus 30% in Asia. So this is why everything got outsourced to China, because it's far away and they can engage in, how can I say this and be a little discreet? Unbalanced employer-employee relationships. Let's just call it that. 13th out of 30th in student math and science scores. An emerging multipolar economic world. So there's a little graph. Percentage share of the global GDP. And yep, there's that one. So, we're getting into Alex Jones zone here. Farm animals being grown for drugs and spare parts. Fast-growing plants on or near the sea surface and seawater irrigated plants for biomass, energy closed CO2 cycle. Polymer growing plants, spider genes in goats allow spider silk spinning from goat milk for quote-unquote biosteel. 3.5 times the strength of aramid fibers for armor. Binary bioweaponry. I wonder what that means. So examples, confluence of IT bio nano. Brain of a sea lamprey inserted and connected to the body of a robotic fish, an initial cyborg. Choo Choo, a flesh plant eating robot that hunts and biodigests natural food to live off the land. Oh, while we're at this, let's just have a look at something I want to show you quickly. And it is Singapore. So this is disturbing, to say the least. What's going on?
It's unbelievable that humans can take over control. If you think about where this could go, this is really incredible.
So this is really, really nasty. So let's get down to... I think it's pretty much this section here. So they've got these electrodes inserted into the beetle, and the beetle's alive still. So if it's conscious, it's still in there. And I just wanted to show you this one section that's just haunting.
So if I want to increase the step frequency, I need to press this button. So that if I press once, so it's faster. Now it's 0.25 hertz.
So amazing that you just press a button and the beetle starts walking.
Mm-hmm. This is the type of just barefaced ignorance. Like, obviously, intellectually, very clever, look what you've done, but just no wisdom behind any of it. Let's just keep going and you'll see what I mean.
It's, I don't know, it seems almost unreal that you can kind of achieve this in a living creature.
If I press one more time, 0.5 hertz, so it's faster. Then
this is really amazing.
1 hertz.
It's not amazing. This is incredibly disturbing.
If I want to change to galloping, I press this button, so it will change to galloping. So, yes, it's galloping.
And this is when it runs faster, basically?
Yeah, the step frequency is 1 hertz. Now it's 2 hertz.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's here the research guy, the Asian guy, says something, and he just says it so flippantly, but you'll see. Just hang on a sec.
It struggles itself, but it still obeys the stimulation signals.
It struggles, but it still obeys.
And do you think, is he struggling to kind of stop these stimulation signals?
Yes, I think so, but still it obeys.
Yeah?
The fact that he thinks that's funny is just astounding to me. Like, imagine the roles are reversed and somebody's got a whole lot of electrodes in you and they're like, ha, yeah, he's fighting against it, but still we can control him.
And this just keeps on working like this?
Yes.
It doesn't get used to it or something? It doesn't...
No. I stimulate even like for more than half an hour, so it's still like this. We stimulate more than 7 days, more than 1 week.
And it keeps working?
Yes.
You're putting in electrical signals into the beetle now, but is...
Just look at the face on this guy. Like, this is...
Is it using up its own energy source basically? Is it using the food that it eats to drive the muscles, or are the muscles driven by the electricity?
Yes, the food.
So you have to feed it to be able to keep on doing this.
Yes.
Looking at this thing, it's unbelievable actually that humans can take over control.
Like, we're getting into a situation of something akin to The Walking Dead. So imagine, just hypothetically imagine, we've got a large population of let's say suggestible people who have decided to transhumanize themselves, either knowingly or unknowingly, with a certain room temperature superconductor administration that enables the same thing we just saw with the beetle, but wirelessly, by radio signals. And let's say while that person's alive, they're able to have some sort of resistance to this type of control, whereby the signals are being punched into them via radio waves, and they're able to resist to some extent. To what degree, who knows? But once they're dead, their own mind is not going to be trying to fight back against the signal that's being fed to them through this radio wave. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have seen the video with the cell phone and the stuff that reacts when the phone's ringing. I might put a link in down below and you can check that out. But it seems like almost anything could be accomplished if you had enough of this substance throughout the... I think you don't even need to have it in the nervous system, like either transported by the lymph to the nerve bundles, or even just concentrated in the brain, which obviously sends the signals to the other place. So brain runs on electrical signals. If you're getting those signals put into you digitally from a radio signal, then you are a robot, a la Walking Dead. And you just saw what the guy said: the muscles stop working if they're not fed. So these things got to eat, and then we end up in a Walking Dead scenario, because we got to get that population down to 500 million, guys. Carbon nanotubes, blah 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 blah. Revolutionary power generations and storage opportunity. Ultra capacitors. So we have supercapacitor, room temperature supercapacitor, graphene, and graphene oxide. Do your research on that and you'll be alarmed. Advanced fuel cells, e.g. lithium, water, air. We already have these lithium batteries. Obviously vast improvement over the old chemical cells, HDM, solid H2 isomers, antimatter, etc. Advanced PV, 50%, not sure what they're talking about that. Room temperature superconductors. This is what we've got in our graphene superconductor and a supercapacitor. Nanotube storage, offshore methane hydrate, blacklight power. Don't know much about that. LENR, don't know much about that, and don't know much about ZPE. Freeform fabrication, powder wire metallurgy using robotic magnetically steered electron beams to create accreting local melts, grow instead of cut. So this is 3D printing metals essentially. Just saw a video this morning actually on Veratacim with a very flamboyant guy that can't seem to shut his mouth, and I don't mean that he can't shut up, I mean he literally can't shut his mouth. He's one of these like mouth breather, lips don't ever meet guys that accumulates that, you know, that really nasty white shit in the corner of them. Anyway, go have a look at Veratacim. Not that I like promoting those douchey propagandists, but yeah, they're 3D printing space rockets. Where are we? No fasteners, strong backs, or fasteners required. So this is all related to 3D printing and 3D printing metal. Aluminium vortex combustor. So this is really interesting to think about when you consider the proliferation of what everybody's calling chemtrails at the moment. So micro-powdered aluminum fed into a vortex combustor, i.e. a jet engine, quote-unquote burns seawater. Now imagine you didn't need seawater. Imagine you were compressing air, and obviously a side effect of compressing air is that the water gets forced out of it. Now imagine you've compressed some air, forced some water out of it, and now you are adding either nano aluminum to it. Aluminum? What the fuck? Aluminium to it. Or even just you through electrolysis hydrogenizing it and burning the hydrogen. Don't want to get all too conspiracy on you, but the mathematics of planes, especially large planes and fuel volumes, it does not make sense. Especially something like the Concorde, and I know there's going to be a heap of tards who are like, but just shut the fuck up. Go do your research and don't be like, do your research on YouTube. Yeah, tell me somebody who hasn't done research on YouTube. Want to learn how to cut a potato? Check it out on YouTube. Want to learn how to wire up a speaker? Check it out on YouTube. YouTube is a legitimate fucking research device. It's information. Sure, there's some crackpots on there. A lot of the real crackpots are state-sponsored and have millions of subs. So they're called influencers for a reason, because they're used to influence and direct the herd. A bit of a rant there. Let's come back. So burning seawater provides AOP with high energy density efficiency for inexpensive SS with near SSN performance. Transoceanic unmanned something vehicles would allow for the enemy after next to affordably threaten continental United States via multi-tenuous inshore short-timer flight pop-ups. Sample newer sensors. LiDAR. 50% efficiency via SC optical amplifiers. Also femtosecond lasers. Molecular and biosensors. Nanotags. Smart card sensors implanted during manufacturing and servicing. And this is the type of thing we're looking at. Everybody's running around with a smartphone. It's called Android for a reason. And the same thing as Apple. Like, it's... What did Manly Hall say? If humanity was able to understand symbolism, a great veil would fall from the eyes. And to that end, I plan on doing a couple of videos just addressing some really entry level symbology and symbol literacy that I think a lot of people are going to be like, what the some census. Did we get through that? Sorry. So nanotags, smart card sensors implanted during manufactures, nano and IR, smart dust. Something else to note, every LED is effectively a solar panel, and every microphone is a speaker, and vice versa. So your TV, if you got an LED TV, I don't think it would take a very sophisticated software program to turn that thing into a camera and the speakers on the TV into a microphone. I think there was already a bit of a scandal with Samsung. Obviously, they had a purpose-built camera and microphone built in that a certain group was using to collect data. Some sensor swarms. So basically, who's got a sensor swarm? Apple's got a sensor swarm. Every one of their phones is basically, and they're publicly addressing this now, it's just a mesh network. That's how the AirTags work. I'm sure Android does the same thing. In every phone, there's all of the stuff that makes the phone work, and then how do you connect to the internet and make phone calls? through the baseband modem, which is a system on a chip. So that's like another cell phone inside your cell phone that doesn't have to talk to your cell phone, but it has access to the memory, so it knows everything that's going on your phone. So basically every cell phone, smartphone you buy is backdoored out of the box. Explosive smart dust opportunities, optimal positioning of explosive dust, formation of explosive lenses, infiltration of deeply buried other such targets. Microdust weaponry, a mechanical analog to bio-micron-sized mechanized dust, which is distributed as an aerosol and inhaled into the lungs. So is this something like those masks that I don't even know if they were recalled. I think they stopped selling them because they had like black, I think they were saying it was black fibers in them. Turns out graphene. And they're still marketing masks that have the graphene symbol on them. And people are buying them and breathing in this graphene, which brings me to another point. The current medical rollout, they're looking to switch to, and I know, I think it's Pfizer's got a two pill a day regime to protect you from the deadly virus. And they're looking to move from the IM subcut, however they're doing the injections, and I guess that depends on who does it. And look, I wonder how many of these people who have succumbed to the injection, it's just been a bad injection where the medical practitioner, who incidentally, along with the manufacturer and the medical institute that is providing these things, completely indemnified. So of these vaccinations, how, like, they're doing tens of thousands a day, if we can believe the media. How many of those are bad shots, meaning they're not going into the muscle, they're going into the straight into a vein or an artery? And statistically, out of, say, 10,000, there's going to be a pretty decent number that are catching it in the vein. And look, are they the ones that are dropping dead immediately? Because they still haven't disclosed publicly what's in these things. Although if you search certain other video platforms, there's a number of people who are talking about what's actually going. Oh, I better shut up. I don't want to get this video struck. Yeah, check out Odyssey and just see. Yeah, Odyssey's your friend. I'll put a link below. Where were we? Oh, did we go down too far? Explosive lenses, mechanized analog to bio-micron-sized mechanized dust, which is distributed as an aerosol. Yeah, we did do that part. Givens, now to soon. Gigabyte transfer rates. Well, we're already there, and we already do have fiber optics, petaflop computing, exceptional AI. Personally, I think AI is bullshit. I think it's just programming, and it's just, they're sophisticated programs. A computer will never be a person because somebody has to program it. Wondrous and ubiquitous land, sea, air, and space. Metaphysics, hyperspectral sensor swarms, military, commercial, scientific. Survival requires dispersion, size reduction, and concealment. Robotic swarm technologies, primarily commercial, endemic worldwide. Agreed upon assumptions in combat in 2025. Proliferation of thermobaric munitions, IT, precision strike targeting, ubiquitous microsensors, camo, spoofing, robotics, biochem munitions, logistic assets, highly vulnerable in or out of theatre, in and near theatre ports, airfield possibly is unusable, beam weapons increasingly prevalent, I believe that when I see it, cruise missiles, range and payloads similar to TBM. What is that again? Something big. Missile at a fraction of the cost and far greater accuracy. 75,000 in inventory of 75 countries. 130 different versions produced in 19 countries. 10 of them are exporting. German V1 cruise killed 5,000, injured 40,000. LO launchable anywhere from anything, highly maneuverable. Then your cost potentially reduced to 10 to 25k. Warheads, de jour, d'hour, HE, carbon filters, EMP, submunitions, CNB, volumetric. I'm not sure what a lot of these acronyms mean. I might go and have a look at looking them up afterwards. Cruise missiles, any RPVs, unmanned aerial vehicle or undersea vehicle. Is a potential cruise missile. Infantry countries have UAVs, low cost, ready availability, requisite technology. How much of this is just I think this document is a mixture of psychological warfare, or like I'm sure once it got released, like it's out, you can't put it back in the box. So I'd say there was many iterations that came out afterwards, perhaps adding to the genuine information with more disinformation to reduce the legitimacy of the original document. Volumetric weaponry, electromagnetic pulse, infinite, and psychological warfare. This is where war is at now. Disinformation, psychological warfare, and through the media. I'm going to do a video in a couple of days about media and what that actually means. So keep an eye out for that one. Miniature brilliant sensors and mind combos, fuel, air, dust, thermobarics, radio frequency, chem, bio, antifunctionals, anti-fauna. So we're seeing this right now with the virus, or I think you'll find that the virus is mostly this. Almost certainly this. And this is after people get the treatment. Isomers, strain bond, energy release, carbon fibers and blades, acoustics, anti-personal, MR, RF, radio frequency, microwave and radio frequency, heating, high power requirements, surface effects, brain interactions, low frequency modulation. And isn't it funny that all of the variants are named after brainwave patterns? Effective low power microwaves, behavioral performance decrements, seizures, gross alteration in brain function, 30 to 100% increases in brain blood flow, lethality, interactions between low power microwaves per square centimeter, 0.4 to 3 gigahertz, microwave and brain function, often fingerprints, bioarchipelago, bacteriological, viruses, prions, parasites, fungi, carcinogens, toxins, hormone regulators. So bacterial, fatal to disabling, viruses, short to long time scales, parasites, anti-flora functional, anti-flora and fauna functional, direct and undetectable, binary, meaning that two or more parts combine to make the thing work like an epoxy. Natural, genomic, biohacking, it's an interesting populace, aflatoxin, parts will in your carcinogen. You know what else is a carcinogen? Graphene. Airborne varieties of, Ebola and Lassa were psyops. Binary agents distributed by imported products, vitamins, clothing, food. Genomically targeted pathogens. Why do these PCR tests, which are not a diagnostic, I'm just going to shut up about that because I want to keep this video up. Why do they need to get your COVID tests from down the back of your neck? I use the term test loosely. Long-term fingerprintless campaigns as opposed to shock and awe, and this is what we're talking about, psyops. An existing biocarbative Venezuelan equine encephalitis, which is some kind of brain disorder. Ideal incapacitator, BW agent, weaponized in the 50s and 60s, transmitted by aerosol, highly infectious, low fatality rate. Is this what was being advertised as mad cow disease when the people were getting it? Was this some sort of test? Tested on humans, here we go, Operation White Coat, no treatment available. Frontiers of rapidly growing genomic in situ. Bio on the battlefield. Food. Water. Cleopatra did say that she was going to poison the water. Energy. HC, H2, PV, meds and health. Computing and clothing. Greatly reduces logistics tail and enhances capabilities. Lethality, capabilities enhancement, armor, concealment, living camo, sensors, FOF, ID, bioweaponry, anti-personnel, functional bio, viruses into biocomputer. Explosives, e.g. N2 fixation, grow overnight. What is apparently legal? Microwave and RF anti-functional, anti-personnel weaponry. Chemical anti-functional weaponry, chemical psychological effects via sensory organs. Weaponry, e.g. smell. So they're getting out the fart spray. Chemical personnel, incapacitation weaponry, non-warfare, e.g. horrage testament only. This is a big one. Psychological warfare. Control the mind, control the person. All you need to do is control the perception, and you control the person, and that's what's going on in the media. Acoustic weaponry, mechanical microdust, and it sounds like there's a ruckus about to begin outside, so I'm going to cut it there, and thanks for tuning in. We're nearly there, we're a bit past halfway, so I'll leave it with you guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, peace.